should you get and build Saileach? Short answer, yes. Long answer, this entire video.
あなたがロドスの指揮官ですね。新人オペレーターのサイラッハ、ただいま着任いたしました。
Jean Willow, also known as Saileach, or Saileach in a more Irish way, is a 6-star standard bearer vanguard from Victoria, was born into a noble family of Vawiva, and became a Victorian ceremonial guard. After a certain event in Hillock County, she came to Rhodes Island and became a combat operator. Jean the Arknights is the first 6-star standard bearer in the game, which has a pretty tough coda name to pronounce. After the tablecloth bearer and Wi-Fi bearer, we finally have the real deal flag bearer. Standard bearer main job is to generate DP. Among other vanguard, they're the most efficient vanguard to print DP, and can provide other utility from their talents and skills. But when their skill is active, they will not block enemies. So usually they're not suited to be on the front line and face enemy head on. Jean has a decent general stats. Since she's a 6-star of the standard bearer, she has the biggest stats among them. But this bigger stats also include her DP cost, which for a vanguard that need to be deployed and generates DP ASAP, is rather a disaster. As for her talents, her first talent, she will holds an ensign, and within the 8 surrounding tiles of that ensign, grants allied units some attack speed buff, and attack speed debuff to the enemies. A versatile buff and debuffing talent. And considering her skills that we will talk very soon, it's best to keep some operators, typically DPS unit, near her position. As for the second talent, after Jean is deployed, deployment cost of the next operator will be decreased by 2. This talent can be reactivate when you redeploy her. And this talent can help you in a tight situation where after you deploy Jean, you need to deploy other operators ASAP. Usually useful in some CCDP generation reduction risk. Also, as you might notice, this talent is similar with Elysium's talent, where he can reduce sniper operators DP cost by 2 when deployed. With Jean on the field, you can decrease one sniper operator DP cost by 4. And this is her potentials upgrade list. Standard bearer potentials is considered very worth it to acquire. They will need those DP cost and redeployment time reduction. But unlike Myrtle and Elysium, Saileach is a 6-star, which means it's harder to get her full pot. And currently she doesn't have a module upgrade. Moving to her skills, her first skill, a DP printing skill similar like Elysium S1. When comparing standard bearer skill 1, Myrtle is still the fastest way to generate DP. With bagpipe in squad, you only need 1 second to activate the initial skill activation. And Myrtle can be deployed much more early than Jean or Elysium with only 8 DP. Elysium can also be much more faster to deploy. As for utility, Elysium can increase Sniper's attack speed when his skill is active, though it will be much more efficient when using his skill 2. Right now there's no extra advantage when using Jean with her skill 1. The scenario where you'll need her skill 1 is mostly when you want to buff her surrounding unit with more attack speed, or in a CC risk where you have small deploy limit rotation, where she can come in handy with her S1 and second talent. Moving to her second skill. Stops attacking, gradually obtain 20 DP. Jean will pass the ensign to the ally unit with the lowest HP within range, gives the unit a defense boost, and heal them with some percentage of Jean's attack. The healing is an aura healing, which means it can heal Mudrook, Halaga, etc. If there's no friendly units nearby, apply the effect to herself. A DP generation with healing, similar like Myrtle S2. All of the effect and DP that Jean gives is more superior than Myrtle. But Myrtle can heal multiple targets, unlike Jean. It's a good support skill, but better not to rely on this one. Most of the time you can leave the healing to other operators. And better use Jean for her DP generating S1, or her next skill. Last but not least, her third skill. Stops attacking, immediately obtain 10 DP. Pass her ensign to the location of ground enemy, or in her own tile if there's no target. Dealing physical damage to that enemy and those within 8 surrounding tiles, including aerial enemy, and also stunning them. Additionally, slow and inflict 30% fragile effect to enemies within the 8 surrounding tiles of the ensign. Arguably Zhan's best skill to use. She can give instant damage, crowd control, and weaken the targets. But of course there's a little flaw. Mainly the DP generation. It's not as efficient as her other skills. And while the fragile effect is great, the duration is short. But luckily she can trigger this skill quite often in M3. But that's just a little flaw that we can still work it out. This skill gives a wide variety of utility that will be useful in general stage, fighting bosses, and in some CC event strategy. When talking about skill mastery, I suggest you aim for her support skill rather than the DP printing one, and by that I mean go for her skill 3. By the Queen, that's a lot of utility for one single operator. But keep in mind her skill 3 is not the best DP printing skill. So partner her with other Vanguard if you can. If you have extra time and materials, also mastery her skill 1. To increase the DP printing efficiency, that might come in handy in some strategy. As for her base skills, increase moral recovery of one random operator when in dorm, and when placed in control center. If rate of accumulation of networking resources at HR office is less than 30%, increases it by plus 20%. So put Zhan with someone like Rosa and Whisperain in HR office. So, will as soon as Zhan the Willow become a good operator for your team? As you might notice, for DP generation, Saileach fall behind other standard bearer. But she gives a very useful utility in return. That is by increasing attack speed of others on the surrounding of her ensign. Can decrease any kind of operator's DP cost. And more of useful utilities with her skill. Either for general usage or even high risk contingency contract. For new players she can provide a quick DP generation. And other support ability that might come in handy in future content. But I must say if you're not looking for Saileach type of support, and DP generation, and also lacking on some solid physical and arts DPS, Sailor may be not your priority to get. So grab your tea and stabbing license bruv. We got a Hydra waifu to gacha. That should be all. You know what, peace is always an option. Adios.